Alright guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a menu for your game. I did not make any separate images, but I will show you how to use separate images if you would like to. I'm just going to make this very simple. You don't need anything outside of Unity to follow along. So first you're going to want to create a scene. I have a folder for scenes for this, and you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to name mine menu. Then we're going to double click to go to it. You want to go to File, Build Settings, and you want to add open scenes. Bring it to the top, and this is the first thing that's going to open when you open the game after it's exported. Now, there is one problem here. As you can see, we had two scenes before, and we're going to be switching scenes from this menu, just like we were with the main scene to the boring scene, etc. And these numbers designate which scene it is. 0 always opens first. So you'll have to watch this in your projects. If you already switch scenes, you need to increment those numbers or do whatever you need to do to fix it, but you should only have to do this once because you only need one menu. So now we can go to our main camera, and we can use this as our background color like it says. Under skybox, switch it to solid color. We can literally just use it as a background color. It will work well enough, so we'll use white for now. Under the main camera, I'm going to go ahead and go down to UI, create text, which will create that text, but it also creates a canvas. So we need to set a couple settings in here. For canvas scaler, we need to go under UI scale mode, go to scale with screen size. Now, we're making a game for a 1920 by 1080p screen. So X would be 1920, that's how wide it is. 1080 would be the height. You want to make sure you set your game in here to 16 by 9 ratio, because that's what 1920 by 1080p is. That's what most monitors are. And now we can go to our text, and we can type in, I'm going to type in tutorial game, but you can type in the name of your game here. We're going to size it up, but you're going to notice something as you watch me size this up. It disappears. So we need to go down here to horizontal overflow, change from wrap to overflow, vertical overflow from truncate to overflow, and wrap, all it's going to do is push it down to the next line. I mean, you can keep that if you want, but ours isn't going to be that wide. If you wanted to do that, you could set the width to the width of the screen, and it would start from one edge to the other. Now we've got our anchor point. You've got the edges, so if the screen were to shrink or get larger, it would change based on the edges. We're going to select the top middle. So regardless of the height, it's going to be centered and go up and down. If you were to select the left, if it were wider than normal, it might pull it in that direction. We want it top middle. So position Y, we can do maybe 100. Nope. You gotta think, we gotta go below it, so negative 100. We're gonna scale our font size up again. We can center it here. Just kidding, center it here. You want to set that to top. So you got left, middle, and right from the anchor point. So if you can imagine an invisible little point be right here, and it's going to the right of that. We want the middle. Top, middle, or bottom, it doesn't really matter unless you have multiple lines. I'll just leave it as top. It kind of matters if you have it right on the edge, because you want everything to go down from there. If we were to add another line and it were set to top, this would move up. If you set it to middle, this would. It'd move up from the center, and the line below it would go down a little bit. But we're going to set it to top. You've got the option to change it to bold, italic, or bold and italic. We're going to do bold. and I'll make it a little bit bigger. That works for me. If you have other fonts imported into Unity, you can use them. I do not. Does not interest me. You can do a line by geometry, best fit, etc. You can change the color of the text right here. I'm going to change it to black. Material, I've never done that. Raycast, target, don't really need it because all I believe that is you can click on it in a way. Not, you can, but you can't. This is not a button. I'll show you a button in a minute. So under the canvas, we got to keep everything under there. To keep it neat and organized, we'll name this title. Then click on your canvas, right click, go under UI, and click button. This will create a button. If you want a custom button, you can go and delete the text and then go back to button and go to source image under the image component and change it to whatever you want. However, I'm going to keep this default one. I'm going to set it to no white. Where is that other there's something I used last time, I can't remember. All this does is when you're playing it, it'll make it a different color, like it'll tint it. You'll see fill center, turn that off. I'll just leave it for now. We got a white button, let's make it black. We're gonna size this button up. So if our screen is 1920, 1920 pixels wide, we might just do 1,000 by like 200. And it looks a little funny. Let's try 600 by 300, 250. I guess we'll keep 200. Inside, in the text, you know what, I changed my mind again. I wonder if we can make this transparent. I've never actually tried that. I wonder if it's still a clickable button. And then let's try setting this to play, all capital letters, change it to bold. This one you don't have to worry about those other settings, you can just size it up. And we'll actually see if you can click outside of it and it'll still play. Centered and all. Although this doesn't look centered now. Now it does, okay. So we'll change this to play. We'll duplicate that. I press Control D. Change to exit. Under here, we'll go to that, type exit, and we'll move this down, top center, move it down farther, -700, that works for me. This wasn't centered from the top either. Maybe we should do it from the bottom. They move in towards each other if you do that. Which means we should probably move these down farther. And I spelt that wrong. I knew it looked weird. Let's change it to exit properly. There we go. I knew it looked weird. Cool, let's move this down to about here. You gotta keep in mind, those boxes might be colliding. They shouldn't be now. I can move this back up a little bit. Then once you get them where you like them, like that is fine with me. I wonder if they still highlight. If they're invisible like that. If I made them transparent. I don't know. We will see. they obviously do not highlight when they're like that. But we could just make this completely white again. I don't know why it didn't work. Oh, I turned the transparency down. Yep, don't forget about that alpha layer. Did this one not switch back? So you can see they're right next to each other. Whatever, we'll just have to leave it. The next thing we need to do is make a script. So create C# script, scene changer. You can name it whatever you want, just make sure it's one word altogether. You need to drop it on something. I usually put it on the main camera. You guys can do whatever you want. We need to open up scene changer. No, leave me alone. Alright. Under here, you need to take those two things out. They waste your resources if you don't. I'm not sure you need it, but we're going to put it in here just in case. Using Unity engine.ui. We shouldn't need it. There's no reason we should, but you need to create a public, don't forget the public part, that's the only way we're going to be able to use them, public void, name it whatever you want, so play game, don't forget your parentheses and your curly braces, and then in here, oh, that's what we need, using Unity engine.scene management. Cool. And then scene manager dot, if you spell it right, dot change. It's load scene. And then you type in the number in here. So if you forgot what the number was, you can go back to your build settings like I said before. This is where you need this number right here. The main scene is 1. So we put 1 in there. I'm not going to make a button for the second scene, but what I will do is make an exit game. And here you put application.quit, and that will close the application. It won't do it inside of Unity, obviously, but it will do it outside of Unity. So you didn't need this. You didn't need Unity engine.ui, but now we put it on the main camera, as we discussed before. When you click on the main camera, it should be down here. So what you need to do, you need to go to this play button, the very top layer where it's actually the button and not the text inside. If you go under its components, under one click, just click plus, select the object you put that script on. So in our case, you need to click scene up here, main camera, and then no function, click on that, go to scene changer and find play game. That was for our play button. Now when we go to our exit button, you got one click. You should add an on click function. Pick the main camera down here where you can choose an object under the scene tab, and under no function, scene changer, exit game. Save your game, press play while you're on the screen, and when we press play it should load the main scene. And there we go, and it's raining, of course. And that's snow, one or the other. My terrible particle effects. But yep, when you press escape, usually it would quit. It didn't because, well, we're in the Unity engine. But outside of it, it would. And that's all there is to it. And like I said, if you want to change these buttons to something else, I'm not sure I have anything else we can use. We can try my splash screen from the last video. As you can see, that would make it the background of the button. And if you don't want a background, you can click none, but I do not believe you can click outside of the text if you do that. Oh, okay. Well, it does work. You don't even need a background. Okay, that's an easier way to do that. Looks a lot cleaner. But yeah, that's all there is to it. I will see you guys in the next video.